Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna make one last, probably, video about Tim Shieff. When I had made my first video about the guy, I knew of him through other people's videos, but I had no idea about his content as he made and presented it. So I went back and I went all the way back and checked out some of his videos, some of them in their entirety, where he was essentially talking about health and diet, those videos. And what I was able to surmise is that he went vegan for ethical and health reasons. What I also was able to surmise is that he ate essentially what is a whole foods plant-based diet. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he probably had some processed food here and there, right? Everybody does. Nothing wrong with that. It's not going to ruin your health to eat cake once in a while. But judging by his, full day of eating or what I eat videos, he was eating whole foods plant-based for the most part, right? While at the same time talking about the need to evolve and how he felt great in the first year of veganism, but then wasn't able to reach that same high anymore. And yeah, he was describing it in terms of something super normal, something out of the ordinary, something, like as if you were taking drugs, something that carnivores talk about when they eat high meat or they start eating eggs after being vegan for a while, right? We describe it as a high when it's really a normal, a new normal. So it seems to me, actually listening to what the guy had to say, not just judging him when it's all said and done. I didn't see, and I'm not saying there weren't some vegans who did do this, but I didn't see people warning Tim Shieff about the dangers of whole food plant-based veganism. There are plenty of these evil carnists who have, in general, warned people about the dangers of a nutrient-deficient diet. I didn't see people warning him about raw foodism, eating this or that food, right? Trying to diagnose the problem. It's only when the shit hits the fan. Everybody's a genius. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Yeah, okay, I did see some people calling him a kook, saying he's crazy because he believes in flat earth. I mean, so does Sverija. I don't have an opinion on any of that. It doesn't matter to me. But Sverija believes in flat earth, and he's healthy. So there's no correlation there. Just because you have some beliefs that are considered outlandish by the majority, like veganism, well, that doesn't mean that you're wrong necessarily, right, vegans? Or does it? What are you saying? Well, you're contradicting yourself, obviously. Hypocrites. Again. Anyway. Tim was talking about veganism being an evolution. The constant need to try different things to better one's health, to find the right way, right? Now, while it might have seemed like he was chasing that first high, that initial high, and maybe that's what he was doing, if you really think about it and you take veganism for what it is and you actually look at all the people getting sick on this diet, well, there's only one logical conclusion. It wasn't working for him. Whole foods, plant-based, with maybe a little bit of processed food here and there. It wasn't working for him. It just didn't work for him. Duh. And he was supplementing B12 at the time. Yes, he was. He had one of them B12 sprays. So quit lying, clowns. Or misrepresenting the truth. Tell the whole truth, not just cherry-picked evidence. Gee. So he kept tinkering with his diet. Why is that? Because it wasn't working for him. Probably. I don't really know, but listen to what he says. It's about evolution. It's about changing. It's about finding your way. He also talks about the benefits of going raw vegan. And I know a lot of vegans out there have a problem with raw veganism, but what are you saying, really? If you're saying these plants in their raw form are no good, then what are you really saying? If you're saying that you have to cook these plants in order not to get sick, I mean, that doesn't mean that all plants are bad, that you can't eat some plants raw. But why do we have to cook them? Because of the toxins, people. The anti-nutrients. The fact that they're not readily digestible. It's a low-grade, second-rate food. That's why it has to be processed. Cooking is processing it. So where do you draw the line between processed food and natural food? It's like, it's so arbitrary. It doesn't make any sense. Cooking is processing it. So if you're anti-processed food and you're all about whole foods, plant-based, why are you cooking it? Why aren't you raw? Well, raw's not good enough. It sounds like everybody's trying to find their way, and can't nobody come to any sort of agreement. Ain't that right? Because the shit don't work. It just doesn't. Just because some people can maintain being very careful with heavy supplementation and the occasional, fish oil, some collagen, creatine, animal products or products that try to mimic animal products. Give me a break, man. From me just going over his videos, seeing what he had to say and kind of following his journey, if only in spots here and there, all in one sitting. Became clear to me that whatever he was doing as a vegan wasn't working, which is why he needed to change constantly, which is why he was experimenting, doing different things, because he wasn't achieving perfect health. He wasn't thriving. He noticed some benefits, but they weren't long-lasting benefits, right? And it sounds like Vegetable Police's story was very much similar. It sounds like a lot of people's story is very much similar to Tim Shieff's. Yeah, he's a little kooky. Yeah, he does weird things like drink urine. That doesn't hurt you. Unless you ingested some toxins that you're expelling in your urine and putting them back in your body. Well, yeah, but then it will hurt you. But where did these toxins come from? Raw broccoli? Give me a break. So anyway, Tim Shieff. Look, man, I don't know if you're listening or not, but to anybody else who might be experiencing these problems, especially as an athlete, look at what's going on out there around you. Be honest with yourself. You got all these quote-unquote vegan bodybuilders, right? Like Simnet Nutrition or Vegans or John Venus taking creatine, right? Creatine is only naturally found in meat. Fish, right? Animal products. That's where you find it. And by the way, if you want a lot of creatine as a bodybuilder from food, eat herring. Anyway, I love herring, especially pickled herring. Highly recommend it. If only for mouth pleasure. But anyway, these so-called vegan we don't really know, do we? We don't really. Let's be honest. We don't really know. But reluctantly, they will admit to taking creatine, which mimics something that comes in meat naturally, right? They take that. Why do they take that? To repair and rebuild their muscle after breaking it down during workouts, right? Plenty of vegans have been caught taking collagen, right? Gelatin. Made from animal bones and maybe other animal products, right? They look to supplements, plant-based supplements that try to mimic the real thing, right? Like Simnet Nutrition using some kind of silica-based supplement that's supposed to help his body produce more collagen, right? You could just take collagen. So all these athletes, Tim Shieff, they realize the value of meat products, but because they're possessed by their ideology, they can't say that, right? They're financially invested in veganism. They have a certain image they need to support. I mean, look at John Venus just itching to eat some meat if it's, clean meat, right? I mean, these people, they recognize the value of animal products, but they just can't talk about it, right? So they cut corners and they probably cheat when no cameras are on. Let's keep it real. A lot of them are struggling. Look at vegan gains having all kinds of joint problems as well. Let me tell you something, Tim Shieff. I had joint issues as a former athlete and somebody who's very active. I thought I was going to be crippled for the rest of my life. That's how bad one of my knees was. I had elbow issues. The other knee wasn't perfect either. Back, oh my God, all kinds of inflammation in the back, achy back all the time. Pain transferring from the left hip to the right and going all over the place. What did I do? Cut out all the plants and ate a meat-based diet. Lots of eggs, bone broths, connective tissue. I know, gross, so gross. Literally eating the connective tissue of these animals. I healed everything. Everything went away. My joints are so much stronger now. No pain. I mean, if I eat some grain, if I eat a significant amount of sugar, carbs, yeah, the pain will come back a little bit, but the strength doesn't go away. So it was a twofold problem, in my opinion. Inflammation caused by plants and weakened tissues. And the only way you could effectively rebuild these animal tissues as the animal, also carnivorous, omnivorous by nature, meaning carnivorous by science and fact, animal, who needs to, this is a fact, we need to, in nature, we need to eat animal products to get certain nutrients, like B12, for example. We just have to. We can't get it from anywhere else, and this is a fact, meaning we have to eat meat to thrive. It is what it is. If you think you could substitute that with Big Pharma, good luck to you, but you're not about that, Tim Shieff. So look, I know, fat chance, but this is how you fix your joints, bro, in my opinion. This is how you fix your pains and your aches. You go carnivore. You cut out all the plants, and you do that for a month, two. You do it as long until your joints get better. You rebuild your joints. They become stronger again. And the inflammation goes away because you will take these highly inflammatory plants out of your diet. And then you can start reintroducing one plant food at a time. And if it doesn't cause any problems, hey, keep eating it. But if you go below a certain level of animal food intake, I guarantee you, your joints, your muscles, everything is going to get weaker once again, and you're going to experience these problems once again. Because that's exactly what you did, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm not the only person to had fixed his joints or her joints by cutting out plants, at least initially, and eating a diet rich in collagen, gelatin, connective tissue, muscle. Muscle builds muscle, man. Unless you're an herbivore, which clearly we're not. So, this may fall on deaf ears as far as Tim Shieff is concerned, but if anybody else is listening and you got joint issues, swollen, weak, creaky, achy, joints with shit snapping when you step the wrong way or you lift too much weight, meat heals. Thanks for listening.